What's up, guys? Welcome back to the third episode of the Mr. CPA podcast. I'm your host, Bryan Carreto, CPA, and on this podcast, we discuss business, personal development, and all things accounting related. All right, guys, we got a cool episode podcast for you guys today, and today I'm going to go over my biggest takeaways from working at a large public accounting firm for over 7 years and why I think audit is the best place to start your career. So if you don't know my background, I actually worked at a large public accounting firm for over, it was over like 7 years. I think 7 years, over 7 years. And during this time, I got such a great experience from it. And even if you look at my older videos, I was like so gung-ho and stuck on I wanted to be a partner. That was like my dream. Because I really do enjoy debits and credits. I like the sell business side of it. I like once you begin to progress in your career in public accounting, my opinion, I think it starts getting a lot more fun because you're not so much in the weeds of just like doing debits and credits all day, and then you start meeting with clients more. You do a lot of more business development, and that's where I felt like that always attracted me to the job a lot more. So I'm gonna go over some of the key intangibles that I got from my experience working in public accounting. Why I think it's a really, really, really good place to start your career as a young accounting professional. So the first benefit that I got from working in public accounting for 7 years is I actually understand now, it kind of like during my second year, but I really understand debits and credits. And this is such a valuable skill to understand and know because when you leave college, I'm sure you will have some form of understanding of like, how do you record a sale? Okay, debit, AR, credit, sales, right? When you get cash for a receivable, how do you do that? Your cash increases as a natural debit balance. So you debit cash and then your AR is going to decrease, right? So you credit AR. So little things like that. And it's so crazy to me how once you leave public accounting, I definitely do feel, especially I left more as to join like a senior management team. So now they don't necessarily pay me for my time. They pay me for what I know. And knowing debits and credits is such a cool and crazy intangible skill to know because when you're in meetings, when you're talking about business things, when you're trying to grow a company, knowing debits and credits and understanding how things work and operate and how certain transactions will impact your business is really key. And especially in your first years in public accounting, really understanding your debits and credits is what's going to carry you. I remember what made me learn this is that when I started my career in public accounting, I had the best mentor ever, literally. She was just awesome. She taught me everything. And before I would start testing or doing something, she would always tell me, hey, what is the entry for this? And I would sit down and think like, okay, I'm doing this testing, but what's the entry for it? And I would sit down and think about the journal entry. And if I didn't know the journal entry, that usually 9 times out of 10 meant I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of going through the motions or following last year. And I really want to get you out of the habit of doing that. If you're already in public accounting or even in school, learning your debits and credits is the most important thing in my opinion, especially when you're young, because in order to continue to progress in your career, whether you stay in public accounting or you leave after a certain amount of years, understanding the basic fundamental aspects of accounting will help you do more technical things down the road. For example, if you don't know debits and credits like the back of your hand, then how are you going to be able to do a business combination or a debt modification? Because certain things start building upon that base foundation that you have. And it's so crazy that I feel like my brain even works in a certain way now that I can't even explain it. Like I will think of a transaction or something will happen where, we buy something at, one of the company I work for now. Something happens or, we do certain things and right away my brain thinks, okay, how's that going to impact my financials? What's going to happen? Is that going to hit my balance sheet? Is that going to flow through the income statement? Do I need to flush that through the P&L? So many things start coming to mind that this took years for me to accomplish and get to a point. So that's probably one of the best intangibles that I think that I really learned from being in public accounting as long as I was, is that the way it made me think and how it trained me and how it trained my brain to just think in a certain way and just be more of a financial professional in that aspect. I really don't think even, I've worked with some investment bankers and they're great too. Don't get me wrong. They have a great work ethic and everything, but they have a certain skill set that's slightly different from the way a CPA or auditor would think. So I think that's a really good benefit that I got from working in public accounting as long as I did. All right. The second thing I really got from working in public accounting was my Excel skills went through the roof. I'll be honest with you guys. Maybe I'm tooting my own horn here, but I definitely feel like my Excel skills really progressed over the years. When I started public accounting, I stress this so much on this channel, but learning Excel before you go into your professional career is going to be such a game changer for you, because so many people leave college and they don't really understand how to use Excel. And I know everyone, including myself back in the day, I would put, proficient in Excel, when you really don't really even know how to do like a VLOOKUP or what have you. That is so, please, before you graduate college, if you can, before you start your first job, learn Excel. There's so many free resources online. I personally used Excel for Dummies when I started my career, because when I started working in public accounting, I quickly realized that most of my time was spent, if not like 90% of my day was spent literally staring at an Excel file. And I quickly learned that the faster I could be on the hotkeys and the quicker I am, the faster I'm gonna be able to get through the work that I need to get through. And honestly, it looks pretty cool too. So, but that being said, even now that I left, I left public accounting and I work now, it's essentially an industry. Even when I need to analyze certain things and, I don't want someone else to do it, I can do it myself. If I need to spend, if I get a data sheet someone sends me, I can quickly, just because of the Excel skills I built with so long, people look at me sometimes at work and they're like, what the hell? Like, how's this guy's fingers moving so quickly, like on the keyboard? And it's so crazy that now when I'm just like, when I got a data sheet and I have to analyze it and present it to the board or, to my management team, and I'm just going, I literally lose track of space, time, energy, and just everything when I'm literally digging in the sheets, if you get what I mean. So my Excel skills definitely built through the years of being at the firm. But if you can go into your first job knowing at least the basic fundamentals, and then you can build on that going forward, that is one thing that definitely I really appreciate from the time that I spent in public accounting. My interpersonal skills. Your interpersonal skills, I was in audit, so I was always, and I feel so bad for especially the younger folk coming into public accounting, because now that a lot of people work from home, pretty much everyone, it's really difficult for you to really get that full experience that someone like I had when I was just starting out, because I was literally at the client site 5 days a week, and then we were in the office on Saturdays. So that really helped me build strong interpersonal skills, not only with my team, but with my clients. And thankfully for me, I always worked on, so my specialty, I worked on companies in the range of 50 million to pretty much 750 million. That was kind of like my sweet spot. I had $1 billion job, but yeah, for the most part, I pretty much dealt with clients in that middle market space. So a lot of the times I got to talk directly to the C-suite level guys. I was having conversations as a staff with sometimes the CFO, but pretty much every day, like the corporate controller, the accounting manager. So you can imagine, for someone coming straight out of college, I actually started public accounting really young. I started when, I freaking love this stuff. Okay, anyway, sorry. I started public accounting when I was 22 years old. So I was a young kid. Like, I had just graduated college. I didn't really know anything. And when I graduated college, being able to have conversations with, someone that has been in the field for so long, I firmly believe that you are who you hang out with. So me hanging out with these people that, had so much experience, I was learning from them. I was learning how to interact. And, I come from, immigrant parents. So my family was like blue collar, and I never really worked in a corporate setting. So even acclimating myself to like the corporate world was like a whole thing for me. It was really tough for me to really grasp myself around the whole concept of just like, I guess, corporate life per se. But being in public accounting, especially those few years, was so cool, because I feel like it made me grow up really quickly. And the more I progressed into my career, the more face time I got with CFOs, CEOs, owners of company, board of directors, audit committees. I luckily progressed in my public accounting career very quickly. I made manager 4 years in, and I left right before I made senior manager within 7 years. So that's fairly quick. So with that came a lot of responsibility that made me level up. Due to the challenges that I faced every day with my clients, with my work, with deadlines, I had to myself level up as a professional to be able to meet those challenges. And with that came a lot of growth. And like I said, I would talk to CFOs, CEOs, audit committees all the time. And with this, my level of professionalism really went up. And now being outside of public accounting and now being more in the business world, and where my company, we go buy companies all the time. That's we go try to acquire them. And with that level of experience, I can now see how all those years spent in public accounting really prepared me for the outside world and kind of building on those skills now. All right, another thing that I really learned in public accounting was how to prepare and read financial statements. I feel like a lot of people, now that I'm outside of the dealing with, vendors and other companies, now that I left public accounting, you start to realize that some business people don't really understand financials. They understand, sure, net income and, sales minus expenses, but they don't understand the intricacies of what can go into top line sales and different expenses. And certain expenses should be classified as cost of sales, and some expenses should be classified as SG&A. And there's some extraordinary items, and, how to calculate EBITDA. And there's just so many things that go into reading a financial statement. And it's funny how one of the first projects I got when I left public accounting was actually analyzing a company that we have, and just being able to really break down a financial and understand, okay, well, what are the pitfalls of the company? Where are the weaknesses? Are there contracts that we need to assess? Are there certain vendors we need to not buy from? How are receivables acting up? So all of that, no one had really trained me as I left. I learned all these skills during my years in public accounting. And I can tell you guys for a fact that these skills are invaluable, especially, it doesn't matter. I always say this too, like no matter what you end up doing long term in your career. I mean, I still consider myself relatively young. I'm only 30, but I've been working now for 7-8 years, and to be at the level I'm at now, professionally speaking, I'm super happy. And the skills and the kind of what I built through those years in public accounting have been great. And just reading financial statements is one thing that, it's a skill that you can do it on your own, and take classes. But when you're at a public accounting firm and you're in audit for as long as I have been, these are skills that really take time. And this is my opinion, I think you don't get the full benefit of being in public accounting until you're there for about 5 years. That's when I really feel like the growth I had after year 4 or 5 really was exponential, because every year from then it was really linear, just kind of like, understanding debits and credits, understanding how to be a good auditor, understanding how to test. But then after that, it was more so like business, a little bit more business acumen, and just really understanding, okay, how does a financial statement all flow? If I affect the balance sheet, is that going to affect my income statement, my statement of cash flows, my footnotes? Like, how does this all tie in? And those are really skills that came in later on. But now, like I said, being able to read financial statements and now trying to couple that with more of a business acumen, now that I'm, not in public accounting, now I'm more in the business of making money for the company and, making sure all our companies that we own at the company I'm at, making sure they make money also. These are intangibles that I definitely took from my years in public accounting. All right. And then the last thing I think is just the intangible benefits. I know I kind of went through them already, but the intangible benefits you get, these are things that you're gonna have forever. They can take away your job. Firms come and go. You can lose your job tomorrow. The company could go out of business. But the one thing that you will never lose is the things you learn. Always be learning. That's why I can't stress enough, especially your first 2 years in public accounting. Soak up the experience, guys. Raise your hand for everything. This is your time to learn and build a foundation for yourself. Because when you leave, or when you want to do something else, or these skills that you build your first few years in your career will carry you throughout the rest of your career. There's certain things I learned in my first 2 to 3 years that I still do literally every single day. So the intangibles of working at public accounting are, like I said, more so the technical ability that you get. Yes, they do work you hard, and I understand that public accounting firms sometimes can be pretty tough, and the hours can be very hard and very stressful, but at the same time, as much as they squeeze from you, you squeeze more out of the firm. If they have networking events, you go build your interpersonal skills. They have awesome clients you could work on, go work on them. I know you got to work long hours, but at the end of the day, these benefits are for you because you might be at the firm forever, like I plan to be, but then you also may get a great opportunity that came, knocking on my door 7 years in, and it's like, hey, well, maybe I should go take this. And then when you leave, again, most of the time, if you leave for a more senior management position, executive level position, they don't pay you for your time. They pay you for the skills and expertise that you could bring to the company. Because for the most part, you are there to solve problems. So the intangibles that I got, I will carry with me forever. And even, who knows, I always say, I assess your career every year. Every year at the end, every April or May, I would assess my career in public accounting and say, hey, is this what I want to keep doing? Or am I getting this vision that I have of myself? Is this firm helping me achieve that? If they are, great, I'm going to stay with them. If not, then reassess and move on. All right, the second thing we're going to talk about today is why I think audit is the best place to start your career. In my opinion, every accounting student coming out of college should do at least 2 years in audit. Even if you want to get involved with tax or something, or investment banking, or you want to start your own business or whatever, doesn't matter. Anything you want to do, if you're an accounting student and you leave college, I think you should start an audit. And there's a few reasons why. I kind of listed out what the benefits, the biggest benefits that I got from being an audit as long as I was, but you really do learn the language of business. Even if you want to do tax after, being able to read a basic financial statement, understanding debits and credits, understanding certain accounts, understanding how things work, that is invaluable things that you learn while you're in audit. And audit, it's funny how now my brain, I can't explain it. I really don't. I don't even know how to put in words how it operates now or how I think. But I know it comes from the amount of years I spent in the audit practice, in the audit field, of how I get a data set and I'm able to analyze it quickly. But that came, again, from being in audit. Even, I have friends that were in audit for 2 years and they actually went into investment banking. Now they work in private equity and they are making crazy money and I'm so happy for them. But even they tell me that, starting in audit was probably the best thing that they ever did because it's like a mini boot camp. It teaches you basic financial principles and skills, and it teaches you the language of business that we all kind of use on the outside. So that's a huge thing that you're going to be doing, whether you stay in public accounting forever or not. So audit just builds, I think, the best foundation for you to have in your career. And then after, 2 years, then you assess, hey, is this what I want to continue to do? Or do I want to use the skills that I built here for now something else? So, all right, guys, that's going to be it for the podcast today. I just wanted to go over, again, the biggest benefits that I got from being in public accounting as long as I have, and why audit, I think, is the best place to start your career. If you enjoyed the podcast, please make sure to hit the like button below. Follow this podcast on any platform you use. Until next time, work hard, dress well. Peace.